Welcome to my world, world of the Bible, books, believers in God, and battles for truth. Reverend John Rankin. This book's called The Conductor by Caleb Franz. It speaks about the story of Reverend John Rankin, Abolition's essential founding father. Now, he's from Tennessee, in early 1800s, of course, the slavery was everywhere. But thank God some rose up and stood against it and said that was a sin against God. Rankin and his family moved up to a little town called Ripley, Ohio, on the Ohio River, and actually his home now up on the hill. It was called a light on the hill for a reason, because at night they light the candles in the windows, signifying to all those across the Ohio River that it was a safe place. Harriet Beecher Stowe, in her book Uncle Tom's Cabin, talks about Eliza escaping across the river, holding her little baby and breaking through the ice and being rescued. Well, that story was taken from an account with Reverend John Rankin. Him and all of his children, I think he had 12 or 13 children, they would that was a stop on the Underground Railroad, and they would help bring these slaves and hide them. They've had their house full at times. They clothe them, bathe them, send them on the next stop, all within a night or so, because the slave hunters would come across the river. It was a terrible time in America, but here, Brother Rankin stood up against that sin of slavery. And I think about what Abraham Lincoln said. He said, "All slavery is all good and well, unless you're the slave." Well, we know what Lincoln, with his Southern humor, would talk about, and it was awful, and he stood against it. Thank God for the Emancipation Proclamation. But Reverend John Rankin was a godly man. He believed in the Scripture through and through, and he stood for it. Matter of fact, the Southerners there in Kentucky at the time, they put a $3,000 bounty on his head, but he stood by his guns, and he did what he thought was right. And may God help us to stand for the truth. Reverend John Rankin, a wonderful abolitionist, a man of God. And you can go down there to Ripley, Ohio. There's a number of places down there that you can see that was part of the Underground Railroad, a wonderful place. But may we stand for the Scriptures, and may we love one another and help point others to Jesus Christ, who's the only one that can set them free. Physically, of course, but most of all, spiritually. Have a great day.